So when we're looking at gi and we were talking about grips, right? We can see which grips give us an effect that we want, right? Does that make sense? So there are three key areas that we're looking to affect: shoulders, hips, and feet, right? These sleeves, although that they have an effect, they affect what?
Shoulders.
The shoulders, right? So we know that this grip and this grip are utilized to affect the same thing, and the closer you get to a core, the better, right? The closer I get to his core, that means the greater impact I have on his center.
For less energy.
Right. For here, it's good to have the full fulcrum control if I'm working to isolate, right, to break. However, for the impact on the control point, aka the center of a human body, right, this has less of an effect for more energy. Does that make sense? Okay, so when we're establishing our grips, we're looking to grab things that are going to affect the human being how we want to affect them, right? Gripping can be done with hands and feet, right? Whether a grip can be done like this, like so. Does that make sense? Today we will be learning to grip with our feet. Now, on that note, I can still grab people by using pressure. I am still grabbing him. This is a type of grip. This is no different than a pressure lock being on top. I am grabbing him, right? I'm causing mobility. So when we're talking about gripping, it doesn't just mean like, I'm gonna swoop this person's leg. No, it means I could stop the person's leg and then we can work, right? Or I'm here, right, working that gripping. So what we're looking for, right, is the grips that affect the human being, right? So can he take a step towards me?
Not?
No, right, because I'm blocking him. Now, I can take those grips and I can utilize them, right?
I mean, he went towards you.
He didn't actually. He did not take a step.
Oh, I didn't
He
say
can't
took
take a step.
I said he
And
went
in fact,
towards you.
I went towards him,
See ya.
right?
I like that.
So they are basic concepts, right? We're gripping someone, but now we're going to grip someone with effect, right? Grabbing someone like this doesn't do a whole lot. This is kind of like a silly beginning thing that people do. When I want you to grab people, I want you to grab people with the effect that you want. Is he stable? Is he able to do anything? Now he just... Another grip. We're looking to have the superior grip fighting. Does that make sense? Okay. So all I want you to do is establish some type of gripping on the top side, right? Which allows you to affect gripping with your feet. Does that make sense? I want you to start grabbing people with your feet. Your hands, they're for your stability today, right? I want you to learn to do things like this. This, you see how I'm scooping, turning, right? I can always keep it flat, like I'm breaking the floor, but I can also scoop. This helps me pick it up instead of just traveling it. Because if I keep my foot flat, you see what happens? I lose it. If I scoop my foot, it picks it up for me, right? So use your feet like you would hands, right? I want you to develop the ability to grip just like you would underhook, overhook. I want you to see it. I want you to feel it. Does that make sense? All right, go play. When we're looking at this, right, why is this important? Well, because when we can't have the desired effect on the chest, right, let's say he's being super strong, that typically means I can have really strong impact on his legs, right? If I can't get this front headlock, or let's say I had it, right? I had him down, right? And now he works his way up. The closer his head, right, gets to being in line, that means if I'm connected, the closer I am getting to his legs every second, right? So watch what happens, right? He goes from front headlock, what happens?
Oh.
Right? Now, assuming that I don't want to let go of the gripping, right? And I'm here, he gets up straighter, what happens?
Yeah, you brought you close.
Right? So this is the head-leg dilemma, right? When our head is trying to come back in line, what happens? Right? My legs are going to get closer to my opponent. So this works in turtle, right? Back positioning, right? If the back happens, right, and they want to get their head this way, what do? Their legs start to come towards you, right? So we're looking for those types of cues, right? So if we were here, he's staying super strong, right? And I'm like, cool. That's an easy take, right? Look how easy that is to take the legs, right? Or we're here, and I'm like, cool. So all we're doing is we're getting the opposite feed of what we did the other day. The other day, we talked about breaking posture down. Well, you can't always fucking win that, right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna learn to work these types of grabs, right? Where we can affect the human body, even when we can't affect the upper body as well. Does that make sense? Okay, so we're fighting for our gripping. It's not really working. Y'all see that? So he'll take his judo stance or whatever stance he wants to take, right? We're here. I'm going to grip in, right? I'm not having the desired effect. See how I can grab, right? Not having the desired effect. See how I can grab. Not having the desired effect. These are types of grabs. That's a grip, right? Although my leg is straight and it's just a frame, it will become a grip. As soon as the bend, you see the bend? Now, obviously I want you to do the full thing if you're gonna do that, but as a premise, right? I'm just trying to show you that your legs, right? You don't have to just use hooks, right? Or sweeps, right? You can use them as a frame, right? And use this frame to eventually lead into the type of gripping you want. Is that making sense? Okay, so what I want y'all to do is I want y'all to go from the front, like body control, and they're gonna build up. And once they build up, that is when you're going to do your leg sweep, your leg takedown, whatever you want to do, but gripping with your legs. Does that make sense? I don't want you to focus on using this, right? Because if I'm here and he looks up super hard, I can obviously use this to take him down, right? I want you to focus on using your legs, because if you're going to do something like that, it's amplified with what? Using a leg grip. Does that make sense? Okay. Go play. Okay. So this next one, right, as we were talking about how we affect the body when we drop, right, our weight, we have the greatest effect. It includes him hitting his head on my shoulder, apparently. Right? You see how if I simply drop, right, my weight, he wants to follow me. It's very hard for him to stay strong, right? Right? And that's very bad for him. Like, that wasn't comfortable, was it? Right? And even if we're at that comfort level and he stays that strong, same thing, right? Let's say I stand all the way up because I didn't get this far. You know what's there? Right there. All the same stuff, right? Same type of leg weaves, etc. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna look at, again, establishing same side, right? Say we're going to drop down, right? We can now take this leg to either swoop in, right? Grab it this way, right? Or we can grab the arm, ooh, and keep going, right? Or vice versa, right? I want you to realize that you can grip, right? Not just with your hands, but with your arms and your legs. So, when we're here, we're going to look to create the dilemma. If the dilemma doesn't present itself, we can capitalize on what we already have. All right? Does that make sense? Everyone's tracking? All right, so we're looking to win the upper grip fight. We start to win posture. All right, now we're going to affect the human body. Make sense? Okay, this is why we're tying it together. All right, we did all the gripping of the upper body, right? We can see that all those have an effect, right? We're going to now translate that with a combination, right, of being able to affect the upper body. Does that make sense? Questions? Sure? All right, let's do it. Go play. Okay, so this next one is a little bit more of a practical explanation of things, right? Sometimes, right, you're gonna go for shit and it's just not gonna be there. It's not gonna move, right? Let's say I'm here, right? He's there and I'm like, whatcha, right? And I'm like, that shit did not move, right? Well, don't just do one feed, right? So I touched it, doesn't move. Second feed, right? Or vice versa. I come here, right? That foot's in front, right? We already see it. I go touch it, it's too solid. Right? Can feed right into a double. Right? Because I'm here. Ooh. So don't be afraid to double feed. Triple feed, I don't care. Right? Let's say we're here. Right? Here's my first feed. Doesn't fucking do anything. Second. Third. Okay, cool. We finally got a feed. It's actually going to give something, right? I don't care what you're doing, but don't just be like, oh, didn't work. Got all this great positioning. Whew, man, that really sucked, right? I want you to come in, right? You battled for this position. Doesn't work. Cool. Didn't work. Cool. We should always be improving our position. Does that make sense? So, what do double feeds look like with feet? Oftentimes it will look like a sweep, like a foot sweep, right? And nothing's gonna happen. Why did the second one work?
Pushing with your hand, pulling with your foot.
I know he's heavy, right? I'm not pulling him down, right? Makes it heavy,
Make them light.
right? Or, I know it's heavy, right? I know it's heavy, right? He can't take a step. His weight's on it, right? So sometimes something being heavy is a benefit, right? We go for one, and we're like, "Ah, I didn't get it." Cool. Doesn't matter. Does that make sense? Right? Don't just do one feed, right? Because oftentimes you're gonna get something, you're like, right? And only the second, third one is actually gonna work. Does that make sense? Okay. Now, I don't want you to feed somewhere that's gonna trap you and get you out. Does that make sense? So, be smart about where you go. You can absolutely do that feed, right? Well, let's say I go here, I go here. Am I trapped in that feed? No. Does that make sense? Tracking? Okay. I want you to go. I want you to test out double feeds, and once you get comfortable doing a double feed, I want 3. Okay? Go play.